I got some bad news. I got this letter. I got this letter from the Druid Council, and I've been banned. I've been banned from using any Druid spells. They say I mispronounce all their spells, and they're offended by it. And you know, I just want to issue a public apology. You know, they say I pronounce wraith. Or I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing it right now. I pronounce wrath as wraith. Cast for wraith, which is apparently incorrect, and apparently I also pronounce Starfire as Starefire. Starfire. Now what they don't know is that my dad works at both Nintendo and Blizzard, so I decided to go give him a call.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, you work at Blizzard, right?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, he doesn't, but again, I'm submitting an appeal, so hopefully we'll have this ban removed by next video. All right, well, hopefully I get the appeal, but we'll have to see how the future goes. Hi, it is Rafflecopter again. Thank you, Night Elf. It is Rafflecopter again. We are going to be trying another legendary enchant that I was sent in the mail. Going to be the Festering Wound enchant. So this is going to allow our mutilation critical hits to increase the damage our target takes from our nature spells and abilities by 2% for 12 seconds. This effect does stack up to 10 times. Mutilation critical strikes also restore 15 energy. So this was an interesting one because with the current build, with, you know, a lot of the ones I've been going recently have involved around a boomkin. And obviously a boomkin would have been pretty good in some regards when it comes to nature damage. Again, with the ban, I haven't gone for anything in the druid tree. Really more as a self-limiter to myself, I suppose. Because I feel like the last couple builds, we've used boomkin, we've used a lot of spells in the druid tree. So this is not going to be like that at all. So the general rotation that I've kind of devised here is going to be mutilation spam along with a strong envenom, and then using a storm strike before your lightning bolt or before your chain lightning. We are using maelstrom weapon, and I'm going to talk about the talents a bit more in a second, but that's kind of what I've been doing. It's been okay. Not the highest DPS in the world, but on a good pull, a good, you know, 1400, which is nothing to wag a finger at. You also notice that I have macros sat for 3 of my spells down here. I am trying to weave in cleaves between hits, which has been a little helpful, a little hindering, but we'll talk about macros in a second as well. So for macros, I really haven't gone over exactly how to even make one, so I figured that, you know, this would be as good of a time as any. If you press escape, you're going to see this tab that says macros. And you're going to have, normally yours will be all empty. So you'll want to just find any, again, you don't even have to select, just all yours will be empty. Don't even worry about it. Click new. And then when you click new, you're going to have this box come up. You're able to enter any name. So, you know, if you want to enter something like, I don't know, whatever that word is, you can, and then you can select any icon. So for example, if I want to go down and have, good old, is that a peach? I'm going to say that's a peach. You select the peach, and then you can type in whatever you want the macro to do. So in my case, you'll see if I go to an existing macro, I have hashtag show tooltip. So that is going to allow whatever spell I type next, it's going to show that tooltip when I hover over the spell on my hotbar. So looking down here at mutilate, it shows the fucking tooltip for mutilate. Who would have guessed it worked? And you'll see these other two are pretty self-explanatory. You got /cast and then the spell you want to cast. And then in this case, we also want to cast cleave, so we have that in the second line there. Now, one thing I want to note is that this type of macro will not work for every spell. For example, if you wanted to do /cast mutilate and /cast storm strike at the same time, because of the global cooldown, that's not going to work. So want to avoid that. But other than that, that pretty much sums up macros, at least in my experience. I normally use them when I'm trying to weave in A spell like Heroic Strike or Cleave In, really useful free DPS if you're not using any of that rage, because obviously you're going to be generating it no matter what if you're a melee class. So you might as well be utilizing that in some sense of the word. Now, to briefly talk about talents, it's a hybrid build, so there's a lot of hybrid build things you're going to be used to seeing. I'm going to skip over those pretty much. I do want to point out a few spells that you're going to pretty much need for the build. Of course, you'll need Mutilate. Now, Mutilate specifically is going to be daggers only, which I do want to remind anyone who wants to try this, you need daggers. This is not a build you can work with two-hander weapons. This is not a build you can have a dual-wielding Titan's Grip situation. You specifically need daggers for this to work. There's not a workaround I'm aware of. If you're able to find one, sweet. You know, you did what I couldn't. But again, otherwise, it's not stuff I was able to find. For this particular version of the build, you're also going to need Maelstrom Weapon. Of course, this is going to allow us to get the instant cast Chain Lightnings and the instant cast Lightning Bolt. So really not much of a hybrid build if you're going to be hard casting this stuff all the time. So that's why we picked up the Maelstrom Weapon. Otherwise, just normal kind of hybrid build stuff with the mental dexterity, mental quickness, I mean, and the Thundering Strikes. And then since all this is based off our mutilation crit, I also went into the rogue tree and picked up a bunch of talents that allow us to either get higher damage numbers when we crit or just more likely to crit. I also stacked a lot into poisons because of course that's also nature damage. So not only are we buffing our chain lightning and our lightning bolt, but we're buffing our poisons, which is great when you're playing a double dagger kind of melee hybrid build, because we're just doing so much poison damage. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and have a fantastic day.